Let's get ready for this thing.
My name is Josh Snyder, and you're listening to Thoughtful Discussions. I'm here with my co-host Corey Ochai.
Yes, you know, the one and only. We are here, baby. Back for another one.
We are here with a special guest.
I'm Matt Thornton. I do a lot of things.
Absolutely. I can't wait to tap on. I've been waiting for, like I always say, I've been waiting on something, but we've literally been waiting on this one, man.
Absolutely.
This is a guy.
I think we've rescheduled it 4 or 5 times.
Absolutely. Hey, Shane, get a close up on his face. The Shane. No, I'm just saying.
that means that we have to make it happen.
No, this is a bit.
We keep pushing for it.
And this is a busy man.
Yeah.
This is a busy man, and you're doing what you love, and that's the reason why we got you here today, man. Because a lot of what you're doing is also I partake in that same industry, and knowing where you came from and seeing where you're at now, and then I know we'll get to it, is actually really inspiring, and also to see where it can lead to. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you're out of the country. This man's all over the place, man. Yeah. I'm happy he's here.
Thanks, man. Thanks for the kind words.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, I guess let's tap into it, man.
Yeah.
So, Matt, man, you're a videographer, you're a director, you're a father, and you're so much more, man. But what title are you holding this week? What's more on your schedule?
Well, right now, and for the past, and shifted for the past almost 2 years now, I've been with the Warhol Museum's initiative called the Pop District.
Absolutely, man.
And originally Ryan Haggerty, Josh Lucas, and myself were brought on to start the workforce development sector of the Pop District called the Warhol Academy.
Yeah.
And I was the director of digital marketing for the Warhol Academy. And
absolutely. I mean, you've been. I mean, dude. There's so many people I'm running into. Like, where did you learn how to do this thing? You know, the videography work. And they're saying they have taken the course. You know, they speak of your name, Matt Thornton, man, and they pop you in there. So I mean, you're taking people that have, a lot of them have no knowledge of even how to work a camera, you know, and just have this a knack for wanting to be someone who deals with videos, someone who makes content, those sorts, and they're coming and taking y'all courses, and y'all turning out monsters, straight hitters out of there. So. How does that feel, man? How does it feel to be, you know, bringing in the new generation of the people doing what you're doing?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, in that initiative, I met Chris Lockerman, and he was doing the little documentary fellowship.
Yeah.
And while me and Ryan were in there, it was like literally we were in this like. Pretty much an office this size. That was the start of the Pop District.
There you go.
And we were on the 2nd floor down there on Isabella Street, and they were still building out the 7th floor where we're at now. And it was like Chris would have, well, first when we first came in there, they had all these boxes of gear. So like, me being a production nerd, I was just like, whoa, Ninja monitors and FX3s and Astra light kits, and I was just like, what's going, like,
you a kid at a candy store?
Yeah,
man,
yeah, and then like during that time, like me and Ryan and Josh are like setting up the foundation for the Warhol Academy, and Chris would have fellowship students come in, and he'd be doing courses, and then I was I was doing digital marketing, but like my passion has always been in the video. So,
tell me real quick, how far back does that go, the video?
Oh, the video, yeah. So it started with me recording first Kalichi, Chad Smith, local hip hop artist who is has a huge like recovery fan base, and he has a video. He has a bunch of videos. He has a YouTube channel. Like, check him out. It's just Kalichi, Colicchie, and like I shot his videos for him because I like loved doing that, and I was like loved getting those visuals and then my homie I grew up with, Fam Ross, who's another hip hop artist. I was shooting his videos too, so like it just all started. That passion all started with obviously it started younger with like watching films and watching music videos.
I think that's where George was going to with that too. It's like you know what. Like when you were a kid, was this something that you always wanted to tap into? Like, what was that? You know, what was that moment that happened?
Yeah,
where it was like, oh, I think I want to shoot a video. Maybe the first video you seen that inspired you.
First movies that inspired me.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably like, I don't know, like just the storytelling.
Yeah.
Maybe in like Quentin Tarantino flick like Pulp Fiction.
Talk, man.
Yeah.
That was the one for me.
Or like even like because I grew up in an urban area. I'm from the South Side. I grew up on Climax Street and then bounced around. But like films like Menace to Society. And I was big in, cause like growing up I was like the only white dude, so I was big into like movies like Boys in the Hood or like and
Ricky.
Yeah.
So I had to do it.
And just
I
like
let that go.
And just like to tell a story. Yeah. And then that I was familiar with, like, absolutely. Because like, and then I was like, oh, I want to do this, but like obviously, I got lost along the way. Right. With the street lifestyle, and then eventually like my addiction, and like my love for film took a back seat to that.
That's why for real I absolutely was so excited for you to come on there today, man, because me also being in recovery, and seeing, you know, hearing a little bit of your backstory and where you came from and seeing where you're at now. It's one of those things where if I was still locked into the nitty gritty of my addiction, it would be a beeper. It would be like a beacon of hope. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you know, so, you know, you kind of got into the videography and you got caught up in your addiction, but how did maybe your love for what you do now guide you out of your addiction? You know? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I kind of like bouncing to what Josh was talking about, and like so like when I first got clean and having like Chaz as a friend and having Fam as like a childhood friend who was a hip hop artist, like I would grab like whatever camera. Like I worked with like the stock Canon cameras.
Some of you had the Nokia
the Rebel. Well, that's a funny thing. You said
no,
it too.
You don't. You
so
dare.
That's a funny
don't
thing.
You
so
dare
like,
tell me you
so reason my Instagram name is Blink of an Eye.
No.
Is because like I just bumped into this dude and like he's like, what's crazy to me, and I haven't seen him for years, probably like 12 years. He was like, this all started on your iPhone. Yeah. Like, and you just started going out
How
there.
OG of an iPhone are we talking about?
It was probably like 4, iPhone 3 maybe.
0.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, and it was like, so like Blink of an Eye, B-Link was like an old street name, and then of an eye, like with the iPhone. So
what? Oh, that's dope. That was dope. Right, that was dope.
Yeah,
that was dope.
So like, I was just all started with like the photos, and then I started getting creative with like the videos, and then I started filming like my boys who are hip hop artists, and then for some reason I was just like one of like the OGs in the recovery community was like, who's a comedian? He was like, Matt, you're funny, man. You should do stand-up comedy, right?
Yeah.
And he talked me into it. So like I
Bro, you used to do stand-up comedy?
Yeah.
You serious?
Yeah. I was down to improv like monthly, like with Matt Light and T. Robe and
Are you serious?
Bill Crawford.
Oh,
Mike
no
Wazowski.
wonder why you post me like that.
Yeah.
I'll be dying at
Mike
some of the posts. Yeah, you
Mike
guys.
Wazowski. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I perform with like all the
Yeah.
big names in Pittsburgh. But like the first time was like, it's a funny story. So the Tim, the comedian in the recovery community, like he travels the country and does it for like recovery events and stuff.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, I have this gig down at New Hazlitt Theater and I want you to be on it. And I was like, all right. And I was like, and I remember just like being so nervous. And I remember like at that time I was doing like landscaping and I was talking to my like old boss today because I want him to do some hardscaping in my backyard.
Nice.
And it brought up the memory of like me just practicing lines on him in the car on the rides. On the rides, like jokes. Like
give us one of those jokes, bro.
Yeah.
Show us where you were at in your comedy experience.
Yeah.
Like, you remember any of those? I know you do.
No, I mean,
come on, man. Give us one.
well, I feel like I grew out of that material. It's like,
Don't feel pressure. Don't let him push you.
but like the thing is this what's funny too is like I go out so like I get attached on the show. It sells out the New Hazlitt Theater, and there's like 400 or 450.
There's like a balcony in there.
Yeah. So it sells out, and like I'm sitting in the green room in New Hazlitt Theater. And
Who's the headliner?
Tim
Okay.
Grillish, yeah. And I'm sitting in the green room, and like this big like rehab treatment center was like funding it. So I guess they said something to Tim, and Tim was like, hey, he comes back to me in the green room. I have this set already. I have all my bits, and he's like, your set's clean, right? And I was like,
oh no.
I was like, what?
I could picture the ink on your hand just sweating off all the words that you
I was just like,
on your notes.
I was like, what?
I thought you were Steve Harvey or something.
Dude, I was like, my set's clean. I was like, Tim, you know me. Like, you've seen what I put on Facebook, bro. Like, my set clean. He was like, well, can you clean it up? And I was like, just like in a second, I was like, yeah, I could clean it up. And then I started like full blown panic mode, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So then, like, I went outside.
That'd be a good joke right there.
Yeah.
Open up. You said to keep it clean, so.
So I went outside and boom, I look up and there's outside, like above the north side, there was a double rainbow.
Nice.
And at that point, I was like, fuck it. I'm doing my regular set. I was like,
whoa.
I was like, I'm doing my regular set. And I did it, dude, and like people loved it.
Yeah.
And I started getting booked for like all types of stuff. But like then where the video work comes in is like I had this like friend group. All of us were in recovery.
Right.
And then I had the group that was like hip hop artists. So that was the birth of the YouTube channel 412.
Okay. Gotcha.
So it was like it was spelled out 4-1 and then tube like YouTube.
Yeah. What year was that, you think, that like it started?
The idea, dude, ever since like I got clean, like I was like I want to do a YouTube channel. So I have 13 years. And in September 14th, yeah. September 14th, I will have 14. So
okay.
Or
Amazing.
There you go.
Congratulations.
I had to think. It is 2024 now. September 14th.
That's crazy. We're getting old. And you know, this channel is a lot of time. What we like to do is talk to those that haven't made that initial step, right?
Yeah.
So when you were, you know, can you take us back to the night before you had your very first show and what that was like? Maybe you running through your lines, like the emotions you had to overcome.
Yeah, man. There was a lot, like everything, man. It's pushing through the fear.
Yeah.
You know, and
was there a moment where you was like, I ain't going. I'm just not going to do it. Were you ever there?
No, because like I feel like, and this is like where this is just like maybe me personally,
Yeah.
but like I feel like the life I lived before I got clean, man. Like I feel like now and doing some work on the inside of myself, like I feel like the way things line up is the way they're so supposed to be.
You know, let it ride.
So like
Yeah.
most of the time where there's some hesitation, that's me versus me. It's not because of like outside.
Mhm.
Like because like another thing that like pushed me is like there's been moments growing up where like people said I could never do that and you can't do that and there's no money there and like the thing is like when I got clean, like I just like freed myself of all that outside chatter and just like focused in like within like where my heart led me, you know, like there was always this indicator, like even when I was living the life that I didn't want to live, like my heart would tell me not to do something.
You still had that beacon, man. You know, I there's a piece that I created that really talks about what you just said, that me versus me. You know, you are your greatest enemy and your greatest ally. You know what I mean? And your biggest battles will never have anybody else attached to them.
Right.
You know, it'll be you.
Oh, absolutely.
Versus you in the mirror.
You're your biggest critic.
Yeah.
Like everyone thinks that everyone else is looking around at them, like worried about them, and oh, what are people gonna think of me? And like that's in everyone's head.
Yeah.
Everyone's just thinking of themselves. So it really doesn't matter that much. Like,
yeah, and it's still like I'm not cured of it.
Yeah, right.
It's still it's there always, man.
But you versus you is if you know that that's it.
Yeah.
Then it's I think that is a way to understand and refocus yourself to realize that you are in control of it. It's not something that's totally beside you. You know?
Absolutely. It is definitely half the battle.
Yeah,
Right. You know,
and-
it's just
and-
identifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had like proof is the pudding moments. Like
Yeah.
Real.
and when I was able to get out of that blur that I was in my act of addiction, I played back those moments.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I should have been following that the whole time. You know, like, cause like, I don't know, like, Corey, you probably noticed, but like, so one of the things in like recovery is like, they talk about the disease of addiction, and my sponsor broke it down like the most like powerful thing that I've heard in my recovery is like, the disease lives in your head.
Yep.
And he's like, you follow your head, it will lock you up.
For real.
And then like your power greater lives in your heart, and if you follow that, it keeps you free.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely the truth, man. And you can't get comfortable because you forget. You know, you'll forget, and then
You let your guard down.
There was something that I think one of the best things I ever heard about in recovery. One of those things that really resonated with me was the disease will set you up in January to knock you down in April.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it's so wild. So it's like when you said I had to remind myself, you're never free from that simple success that you had, that little bit of win you had. You know, it's a constant battle. It's a continuous fight. And there was something else that you talked about that really resonated as well, was the things you went through before gave you the confidence in that moment wasn't too big for you.
Yeah.
When you got on stage for that first time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, I think that was really cool. Like all the things you went through, to have that moment and not make it like, I'm not going to do this. Like you said, I already went through, you know, I think our past battles, the worst things that ever happened to us, give us the confidence in our ability to be able to overcome things, but we just have to remember a lot of times because we forget the path that we already traveled to get to that spot, man.
For sure.
It's heavy.
For sure, man.
It's heavy. So, you know, if you have been through some traumatic stuff and you listening and you've been through some things you thought you wasn't going to make it through, but you made it through, be proud of yourself and don't forget that you did that. So you can damn sure do this thing that's in front of you. That's just part of it. So
I love that.
let's go forward.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I with you talking about that too, it's like another driving force is that growing up, like I had like addiction ravaged my whole friends group, you know. So like growing up, like if you took a photo of like 20 of us standing on the corner hanging out, there's probably like 5 of us still around. Maybe there's like 3 and still in the grips of addiction. Maybe there's like 3 or more in prison, and then the rest are gone.
Yeah.
So like one of the things that like, and especially being in recovery, like you make these friendships with people, and then the next thing you know, like they're gone because like they relapsed or like, and it's like knowing like that this life is so precious. Like I can't, like I do it for my friends that I lost, but I also do it for myself because like now I have kids and like these beautiful children that look up to me, and like it would be like wrong for me not to capitalize like on this life that I have right now.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, so like I get jammed up with that fear, but then I remember it's not just about me. It's about those who I lost, those who depend on me.
Yeah.
You know, the friends around me.
Yeah.
You know, like the family.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's bigger than us, man, and we gotta move that way, man. And okay, man. I think we're ready. I think we're ready to move it forward too, though. Yeah, man. Because that I mean, there's so much.
I got a couple questions.
Yeah, there's so much in there too. I love that.
So first thing, not to take the spotlight off of you, but if you are enjoying this conversation, a couple episodes before this, you can check out Z-Bird. And I don't know if you've seen him or if you've followed any of those other people that you had talked about, but it's uncanny how the position that you were in and where he's at right now. He's a comedian. He's doing all the same things you're talking about with all the same people. He's a landscaper. Like it's from recovery. Everything. Yeah. It's like to a T, just like 15 years difference.
Yeah, Mike.
It's hilarious.
So Mike.
Mike Zidell.
Yeah, he grew up with my fiance's brother.
Okay.
So he's from Greenfield, and actually he has a similar friend.
We had him on a couple months ago when.
Mike. They have their own podcast.
They do. They just had your boy Chevy Woods on there. Chevy was just on there.
Oh, really?
Too. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, Mikey performs with Matt Light a lot.
Yeah. Bill Crawford, they're all in that same circle together.
So Jimbo, I like the 412 stuff. So Jimbo was one of my friends that started doing comedy with me, and then it was Phil Reinheimer that used to do. So Jimbo Dowd and Phil Reinheimer, and Jimbo just started doing comedy again.
Okay.
And Mikey had him up at his show in Brookline, and I went out and supported. It was just over the summer.
There we go. So Pittsburgh's such a small.
So that 412, right? Is it 4122?
No, 412.
412.
Yeah.
So, all right, when you guys got that started, man, how did that all take place? Like, how did you figure out what you guys wanted to do, and how did it go? Yeah, it was always like a passion.
There's so many circles that are like all closing in. I gotta talk about it.
Small town, man. It's a small town.
Yeah. So there was like the passion was always there, and I would say it, and I was like, I want to do this YouTube channel. And I was just like procrastinating on doing it. Yeah. So then I like it literally happened at like the right moment, because like Jimbo just got clean at the time.
Nice.
So and then Chaz like was just got clean a little bit before that too, and then like I had this group, and I was like,
they're all supporting you.
Yeah, and I was just like, we're gonna do it. So then I did.
I can see that moment, man.
I was like, well, we actually have behind the scenes footage of those moments. Is
it still on?
I had to take it down because
goodness.
I don't know. I got kids now.
I got you.
But like we were a little bit more raw.
Okay.
And like I was young. Well, I mean, I didn't get clean till I was 28. So like,
Right.
so pretty much I was a teenager at 28.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know, so like my maturity level and
Yeah,
like the way I
yeah.
carried myself was
I
a
got
bit more, because I was wild, you know.
Right,
It's
I
just
got
like, so I had a lot more growing up to do.
I got you, man.
But so like I still had the channel,
Yeah.
and it got like 7,000 subscribers. I just
There
been
you go.
sitting on it.
It's one thing to create those videos. It's another thing to press send
Yeah.
and just say, all right, publish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, what was crazy is
How
we
did
had such a
that go?
following. Yeah, we like there was like that's where the marketing thing where I first started marketing 412.
Okay.
So I was like, how do I market this? So I started hitting all my channels.
Right.
Then I started leveraging. Like Chaz had some reach, and Jimbo had some reach. We all had some reach. Fam had some reach.
Put it all in one place.
Yeah, and we got it out there.
Yeah.
And like it was like it was crazy. So like with that first video we got like over 2,000 views in like
Right.
the first week, which is like
Back
back
then,
yeah.
that was heavy.
yeah.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
You talking about 2014?
Those are AOL days.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't go that far back. But
that was dial up.
You're like loading up for 15 minutes just to hit play.
Just to send you a CD in the mail.
Yeah.
Just trying to get some extra hours.
But
That's funny.
but when we did the second video, and that was pretty much like Jimbo, like
Oh, you lucky
we
that
did-
Facebook wasn't popping at
yeah.
that time. Because, bro, you would never got rid of that.
yeah. Oh, dude. Well, we used Uptown Funk because it was like brand new song.
Yeah.
And Jimbo was dressed, he had suspenders on with shorts, and we did a whole behind the scenes video that Jimbo didn't even know that we like were doing, because like we set him up, like he didn't know that throughout the video he was going to get shot with paintball guns. So like we lit him up, like it was like kind of like Jackass style.
That's what it sounds like. I got you.
But like the video of him dancing to Uptown Funk, looking ridiculous. He had like a fedora on, like he bought a Kangol from downtown at the hat store.
Had the
Like-
Samuel L.
And
going.
like, yeah, he had like dress shoes on, and like granted, this day that we filmed this, it was like probably 15 degrees out.
What's up with y'all and filming in the cold? What's
Yeah,
up with
well, that was when I was like, let's do this.
that? Okay. It was just part of
So-
the man's walking with a pimp coat.
Yeah.
There was some
Yeah,
Stacey
so
Adams on.
But what was crazy about that video, we got like 50,000 views. It started trending in the UK. It was on I think it was on ABC at the time. It was called Right This Minute.
Yeah.
Mikey and Big Bob put it on Kiss FM. Like it was like insane what happened with that video.
Crazy.
And then we just took that, and I was like, we're doing shows.
Yeah.
Like we're mixing hip hop and comedy
So,
and doing shows.
Pause real quick. So the fact that you had, from a marketing perspective, you could have 4 or 5 guys, and all of them have their own YouTube channel. And this is back in the day. That was YouTube was first coming out, and instead of that, you guys kind of funneled all into one, and then all 5 of you, 4 or 5 of you, however much, were all promoting the one place to go. So when one person would get someone to go, and then they'd watch more, they'd watch the rest of the crew. That kind of marketing. I try to network similar to that, where you catch me, you're going to catch some of the other stuff around me.
Yeah.
And I like it when I see other people do it. But for you to not even know that was a thing,
Yeah.
like, and that was just your natural instinct to like, we're going to make one, and we're all just going to funnel into this one thing.
Yeah.
It's super smart. I love
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cross-pollinating. Like,
Yeah,
I
it
love
was
that,
like-
man.
That's
That's
yeah,
beautiful.
and there's like a lot of people didn't think the hip hop comedy shows would work,
that. Yeah.
but like we started like we filled up. It was Diesel, now it's Foxtail, but like we
Yeah.
filled up Diesel our first show,
Nice.
and then we started doing a bunch of shows at the Boiler Room because there was like a better opportunity for us to make more money and put it back into like the channel, but like. During that time, like we've had these shows, dude, and like High Res was part of it. Beatty performed there. Like all these artists started coming out and performing at our shows. Palermo Stone, like all these artists like that were in the city would be a part of these 412 shows, and it was just like.
Now, let me ask you this question, right? Because you got publicity kind of kicking in. You know, people are starting to notice you guys, but you're fresh in your sobriety.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of tough handling that early stage of sobriety and also that early stage of fame.
Yeah.
I said.
Yeah.
You know, how did you navigate that? Because I know there were some things kind of pushing against your vision that you had to overcome.
Well, I think, and like all of us, a majority of us, except for like Fam and Folkland, Los, like a lot of us were all in recovery. So like you would see that come during our meetings that we would have. Like you would see that come to fruition, like
Right.
especially if people were at different steps in their recovery.
Right.
And
More supportive. Like you guys were all supporting each other.
Yeah, we were supportive, but you would also see the friction too.
Yeah.
Because like someone's pride or someone's ego or someone's
Right.
and like that was probably one of the most difficult things to maneuver in that instance was to, and you had all these people at different levels in recovery.
Yeah.
And like it was like hard to get on the same page.
Got you.
You know, and
right.
But you guys found a way to make it through that.
Yeah.
You know, and you guys held strong, man. Because I just, like, I'm going in my head, I'm like, how would I, and you know, you never want to compare stories, but I just know that's just not, that's not going to be solid. I mean, that's not going to be like stable water to row your boat on. You know what I mean? There's going to be some ripples in there, and it always happens, especially with something like that.
And one of the major things at that time was like we were all hitting meetings together too.
And I think that's the key.
So like we were all going. Yeah, we'd leave our 412 meeting and then go to a recovery meeting. And a 12-step meeting, and just like
that's a different mentality.
Yeah, and then like the thing is like a lot of our support came from people in recovery because like we literally started like showcasing younger people that had talent on our channel, and like it was
showing them the light.
Yeah. So like, and then like there would be people be like, "What you guys are doing is awesome," you know, like.
Well, that's beautiful because I'm catching that all throughout your story, man. Where all throughout your journey, where you're not just trying to have the light focused on you. You're actually shining it this way, just like cross-pollinating with the marketing in the YouTube. You know, it seems like that's kind of part of the thing that you tend to like to do most, is not just have your opportunity, but provide opportunity for others.
Yeah.
With your success.
I said it early on, and I said it early on in my recovery process. Like, I realized that your network is your net worth.
How long?
You know, and that's like, that's part of the reason like I started doing the Network Factory at the Pop District.
The way you do anything is no different than the way you do everything. But it's great that that's the way you do your thing, bro.
Yeah, there's like a running joke that Matt Thornton knows everybody.
Yeah, but you really do, man. There's people I know that I did not know. I'm looking at your Facebook and mutual friends. Like, hold up. How did they you know literally everybody I know, man.
Yeah.
You know?
So what was that vape shop that was up in Allentown?
Oh, so that was birthed out of 412.
Okay. And you were part of that?
Yeah, that's it.
That was one of the first ones in the city.
Yeah, well, there was a bigger one, but yeah, we were like one of the first, But we were the first.
It wasn't like we were now, where they're on every corner and it's real corny.
Yeah. We were also the first. So what the reason for?
You know what I mean?
I do. I'm sorry, I didn't expect it. I was just like,
but we stood out
Yeah.
because we had a stage in our shop.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
so I went in there.
Yeah,
I don't smoke or anything, but I remember going in there because Bob Fryer did a bunch of painting up in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And he was a customer of mine early on, and I want to say I was up in town because my son was doing he was doing breakdancing with Coach Kuba for the Get Down Kids.
Oh, okay.
Get Down Gang.
Yeah, so I
was up there.
I do want to take credit for Bob doing art in Allentown.
Do it.
because
At the time,
the real
it was dirty at
estate,
the time.
yeah, the person that owns all the real estate up there.
Yeah.
Came up to my shop and seen that Bob did my wall.
Yeah.
And then
I think that's why I went in there. I saw it like on his page, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to go in there and check this out.
Yeah, and Bob did like dope ass art on my wall, and
Yeah.
like there was graffiti in there. Like the shop was dope.
Yeah.
Like, and like what was crazy is like we had battle rappers in there. We had comedy in there. Like we did Burning Bridges.
It wasn't
comedy.
huge. It was small.
Yeah, it was small, but we would pack this place.
No.
And I remember, I think I picked up a card then for the 412.
Yeah.
And like there was a TV, like a tube TV up in the corner that was like playing it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was a cool place to just, even in the like daytime, just to like stop by and be like, oh, what is this?
Well, the reason, like one of the main things, like when RE360 approached us and was like, hey, you guys, we have this open spot up here, and that's what got the idea.
Yeah.
We could have our own stage, right? And not have to deal with anything else. We control our stage. And then I knew a bunch of people in the vape industry from like South Florida to Hollywood to Denver. So like I started.
He knows everyone.
Yeah. So like, well, I mean, you get locked into the recovery community. That opens up a whole.
Yeah, it really
whole
does.
new world.
It's a different type of school, man. It's a different type of networking.
Yeah.
Everybody's everyone's all. Oh my goodness, you're right.
Yeah.
I've gotten some.
So like
so
I
you
got.
You know.
I yeah, for sure. And like what I got we didn't have a lot of money at first, so I got a lot of consignment deals with these big name vape juice distributors from all around the country, and it was like the hottest like vape juice out at that time. And like we were like, let's do a vape shop, because there was like really none around then.
Right.
Like somewhere out in the South Hills.
Yeah.
And I was like, that could be what pays the bills.
Yeah. And then we got
and
the stage.
And then we got the
bring
stage
people
to bring people in.
Yeah.
So like, we were just like, all right, let's do it. And like, honestly, dude, like, that was like the learning moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like one of my partners relapsed. And then one of them was a silent partner.
Okay.
And it was just like, and then I was stuck in this shop. Like 10
Signed
hours.
the lease.
Everything on you.
Yeah. And like, well, I wouldn't say everything was on me, because my silent partner, like, helped financially.
Right.
But like,
but he didn't have the hours to put in.
and he had his own side business too.
Yeah.
So like, and like that's when I started like doing the shows and packing the venue and like using my network to pull in like the battle raps and the hip hop shows and the comedy shows. Like, yeah, man, like there was like artists from all over the country, hip hop comedians that came and performed the drip.
Yeah.
We won best of the city.
Yeah.
And then the state hit us with
It's
a
called drip.
40%.
Absolutely. You know they coming for days, right?
The state hit us with a 40% wholesale tax, and that just like crippled us. Like I was paying. There was literally months where I paid myself maybe $500.
Right.
Let's see that. I think moments in business like that you went through after your partner unfortunately relapsed and you know everything was on you. You had to realize like those moments like that in business are so important to navigate and really find your true like footing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think for me, like the times where the funds are not coming in the way they need to be is the time I'm most creative to really find out what works. Like it takes that in life in general. I think it's just a life thing. When times aren't going your way, you have to figure out a way not to go through life like this and do it better. You know, it forces you, it pushes you. And you said you started doing shows, you probably got more, you probably, you know, tightened up everything else. and really focused your energy. It was one of those things that if it didn't happen, you wouldn't be where you're at.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You learned a lot in that area.
Oh, for sure. And like one of the things was like being that it was on Warrington Avenue, that's my old neighborhood, like
Yeah.
it was an opportunity for like people, like nothing was ever up there like that.
Right.
Especially with like comedy and shows and like, so it was like an opportunity for people to tap in and be like, oh, maybe I want to pursue this, you know, like
I don't have to be doing what I'm doing. I can
be out, and like the community loved it too. They would come in. I would do like birthday parties on the days we would close.
Absolutely.
You know, people would want to do their birthday parties there. You know, like or like some type of gathering, and it was like it was like just a dope ass spot, but like at the end it was just didn't financially make sense.
That's all right.
Like I had some of my guys that I sponsored working there, and then I would go to a serving shift. I started waiting tables again.
Gotcha. I got
You know,
you.
and I was just like,
So, but when you were doing it, and like when it was starting out, and you were even like paying yourself $500 a month, and you're just like going through the process, like what got you through like the burnout, the build up, where you're like, I know this is gonna work. I'm just gonna keep at it, keep going. Like how is that a thing that was like, this makes sense for me?
so I forgot this little
Yeah.
tidbit.
Come on with it. Come
So,
on with it.
I just forgot this tidbit. So Work Hard Pittsburgh was right
Yeah.
across the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Academy Pittsburgh, the
Yeah.
old web it's still around, but the web developer boot camp was 2 doors down.
Right.
And Josh Lucas like helped me get my website up, cause like he seen like I was just like he seen me grinding.
I got you.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
and then Josh like opened an invitation when like I was just venting to him about like on the outside this business looks like it's doing tremendous, but like I'm struggling.
Yeah, buckling on the inside. I got you.
I'm struggling here on like paying myself, and like it's like, and he was like, you want to make extra cash, you could go take some photos of the Academy Pittsburgh boot camps going on. So he started paying me like a little bit stipend there,
Right.
and then which helped tremendously, but it also sparked that, oh, I could get paid for doing this, something that I love.
The hustler spirit is strong in this one, man. The hustler spirit is strong in this one, brother. You seem to have found a way.
Yeah. And then,
The way finds you.
and then so like we unfortunately that 40% wholesale tax like crushed us, and we ended up closing it.
Yeah. Is that like
Same
a tobacco
like
thing?
the end of the year that we won best in the city.
Yeah.
And that's when I went back to serving, but I was still like, and like shout out to Josh Lucas too, man, because like he saw something in me, like, and he took a chance on me, and he was like, hey Matt, if you come in here for 6 months every day, just sit in here before your serving shifts, I'll have you quitting that serving job in 6 months.
And what happened?
Well, so like he got me involved, right?
Yeah.
So like he got me involved with Hilltopless, and it was that giant concert that we had up on Grandview Park with the cool kids came in.
Sheesh.
Ed and Dave from Drinking Partners and Barrel and Flow Fest hosted it. Like we had
That was before they did their festival.
Yeah, we had PK Delay and Pet Zebra as the like local artists, and that's where I seen like, okay, I could do marketing and video stuff and make extra change, and like I started getting in that freelance grind. Those freelance wheels started grinding, and so then I was just like, I was working the serving shift
all on iPhone.
Yeah, this
Still?
No.
That was an important information right there. You still using the iPhone.
Yeah, no. So like there was some. So in Work Hard, it was a cooperative. Filled with a bunch of freelancers. You've been there.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you there. Was you ever at Work Hard?
I actually got a chance to see it. Not really Yeah, not. I mean, more.
You
more
know a
so
bunch of
towards
people
the
from
end.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more so towards the end, I was able to see it. You know, but it
Yeah.
was amazing to just know that that's where, like a lot of the people I admire today in our community, that's where they were. That's really where they got their footing. You know, that's really where they sharp like that.
A piece
that,
of their puzzle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that place
For sure.
produced some
Oh,
monsters, man.
Yeah, man. Because like, and what was cool, it was just this close knit group of freelancers that looked out for each other.
Yeah.
You know, and like would pull people in on gigs and like, and that's where like, obviously like I didn't have much money coming out of Drip Lounge. Like I had a whole bunch of debt.
I got you.
You know, like
Yeah.
and I was waiting tables and doing little side stuff for Josh. Like I was building websites and like stuff that like I didn't know how to do, but Josh was like, "You could do it," and I was like,
Yeah.
"All right, I'll
Like,
do
just
that."
do it, I'll clean it up.
I got you. That's a real mentor, man.
Yeah,
See
yeah.
more in you than what you see in yourself.
Yeah.
And willing
Yeah.
to work with you till you get there.
Yeah, so like I just started grinding that out, and then like that like it just unlocked because like I was in it. I eventually did quit my serving job, you know, and then like at that time
Yeah.
we were about to have my 5-year-old.
Okay.
I mean, she didn't come out 5-year-old, but like
They still got it.
but
Yeah.
but we were about to have my daughter Kennedy, and like my fiance was like so shook that I was leaving the security of the serving job.
Yeah.
But like the thing is like Ryan Haggerty was there was Courtney and Ashlyn, and like I said, I didn't have no money, so like they would let me borrow their equipment.
Yeah.
Because I started doing my network and started like reaching out, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I need a video, and it was just like, "Oh okay," and then they were like, "Yeah," and then I'd throw Ryan. Well, Ryan never took the money.
Yeah, I got you.
know.
Ryan's just cut from a different
Yeah,
cloth. We're
yeah.
gonna have Ryan on soon too. I
Yeah.
can't wait for that.
Ryan never took the
And
money,
Josh.
but I would
Josh
like,
on
yeah, but like so like
Subscribe now so that you can hear those other episodes in the future.
yeah, and it just like went off. I remember like the day that I quit, and I didn't quit. I got suspended because I didn't work this big event where I wasn't going to make any money because it was because I had a gig.
Exactly.
I was shooting a wedding.
So you were losing money going to work.
Yeah.
That's when you know it's time to give that job up.
And they
know?
took me off the schedule right before I was about to have my kid, and I was just like, and this is what's funny. I'll get to this in a second, but like they took me off the schedule, and I was just like, at that moment I was like, I'm never coming back.
Ever.
And Lisa, my fiance, was so shook because we were about to have a baby.
Yeah.
You know, and I was just like, we'll
trust
be
me, this is
the way.
Much more.
Yeah.
I was like the Mandalorian. This
I
is
got
the
you.
way.
I got you. Got you.
And I just felt it in my heart, you know.
Wow,
and
yeah.
so like that, I never looked back.
Yeah.
And like, what's funny, like, is when I got hired by the Warhol to do the Pop District stuff, that manager that like let me go, messaged me, and
What do you mean?
He messaged me. He's like, "Look, man, I'm sorry, but I never saw your vision, but I see it now."
Yeah.
That's heavy.
You know,
That's heavy.
That's like, and if you ever want like a meal on me or whatever, come down here. I got you. Like, but like I was just
No
like,
bad blood.
yeah, and I was just like, well, I mean, I'm a forgiving type.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, man, thank you. That means a lot. But like,
He sees.
I took a picture when I got hired, and we announced the Pop District.
Yeah,
Because I got hired a little bit before the announcement of the Pop District, and I took a picture on the Andy couch.
Absolutely.
And I posted that, and it was just like,
Yeah.
people were like, "Oh shit, you're."
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
It's really happening.
And they were
It's
like,
really happening, man.
yeah, and it was just like, yeah, man, I just like always had this.
You know, there was something that you were talking about in your story that I do want to tap in on, and I love that the fact that it got to that moment, right? That moment where it's like you're being seen, and you really feel like, you know, I did this thing, I'm doing this thing, this is happening. But there was a moment you were talking about when it was drip, and you were going through, you were taking care of everything. It was kind of not doing well. You have to, get that serving job.
Mm-hmm.
How did you let go of it? How did you say that day where you had to hand the keys back to whoever owned the building and say, all right.
For drip.
Yeah, for drip. Wipe your hands of it. When did you know, besides the 40%?
I mean, it stung, dude.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know, I carried it around for a while. Like, I was just like,
Yeah.
For a bit, man, I looked at it as like a failure.
Yeah.
But you didn't stay
in retrospect, like, I learned so much just being in those trenches, like learning how to run my own business, learning how to do marketing, learning how to produce my own content,
Right.
And during that time, like, I built my network so much.
Yeah.
Like,
this kind of, when you're talking about it, what it does is it reminds me of when you were about to hop on that stage.
Yeah.
And you were talking about how you overcame everything from before to make it to that moment.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it sounds like the second coming of that.
Yeah, and that's like, yeah, it's like when we closed the shop and I was back serving, like, there was like, fuck, I'm back here.
Yeah.
I'm back waiting tables.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I made the best of it because like,
Right.
I was cynical and I would crack jokes all the time.
Right.
And that's how like I coped with being back and serving. And plus it helped that I got some of my friends hired down there and like.
As you do, because you spread the love, man.
Yeah.
You make sure.
Yeah, it was like me and Bill Waves. Me and Bill
For
Waves.
some reason, I don't know who that guy is, but when you said it,
You know you saw him.
Yeah, I know if I saw him. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
For some reason, I just feel like y'all two together. It's something.
Oh, man.
It's something. It's a sight to
That's
see,
my
bro.
dude, man.
It's a sight to see. The
I
smile. I don't trust the smile for some reason.
Yeah. Shout out to Bill Waves, man. He just dropped.
I'll have him on at some point.
Yeah.
He's on my list.
He just dropped an album, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, with Beatty.
Yeah. They put out a little combo thing.
Mm-hmm.
Pat Brunner did a bunch of the photography.
Okay.
He's always working with him. Yeah.
All right. Go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I was just because I know that's a tough time. They say it like this, right? They say 80% of the businesses fail the first year, but this is another step. I think it was like.
We made it to the second year.
Yeah, 7. Well, that's okay. Well, that's cool. That's dope. It's just the first business in general,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
80% of those fail, and 70. It's like 65 to 70% actually succeed this second time going around, but only 20% actually try for a second time, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I think the number is higher or the same to succeed, but only 20% go back the second go around.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's hard, man.
Yeah, and
It's
I
hard.
I think that moment is the hardest to navigate. It's like after it not being what you want, and then you have to, there's a piece over I have called Reclaim Faith, where you have to have something, then lose it to truly understand what you have.
Yeah.
And I think that's in life, even in business. Sometimes you have to have it, then lose it to really know exactly what you even wanted to have before you go and get it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I look back, man, like, and honestly, just recently, some like dude that used to come to the shop just hit me up and was like, "Do you have any like memorabilia
Nice.
What?
from Drip Lounge?"
Seriously?
Yeah, man.
He was that much of a fan, bro?
Yeah.
You changed his life like
Yeah,
that?
well, I mean, he was like, "Do you have anything like that?"
I mean, if
I
it was
could
someone
buy?"
that like played there or like
First
that was
show.
part of his life.
Yeah, and like,
Did you?
and I still see people rocking Drip and 412. Like, people will text me.
Yeah.
Like, my friend texted me this summer, and I think it was Ray Zawadney.
Okay.
He was wearing a Drip Lounge 412 shirt.
Nice.
Because we had like Drip Lounge, and then we
Yeah.
had 412 on the shoulder, and then we had to flip like 412 on the chest, Drip Lounge on the shoulder, on
Dope.
the arm, and
Gotta promote
Ray Zawadney was wearing it, walking around Kennywood, and my
Yeah.
boy Chaz took a picture and sent it to me,
That's fun.
and he was like, "Yo, they're still rocking our stuff."
Yeah, it's still out there, man.
Yeah.
That felt good.
Yeah.
You guys really, man.
And Ray's a big comedian. Like, he lives in New York now. But
Okay.
he just came back for Matt Light's show, and he did
Nice.
it with Mikey
Nice.
Zidell.
Yeah,
Sounds like we gotta get your crew on here as well, man. We
Mm.
got to bring the whole
They're
shebang.
coming. And
Yeah.
It's
All y'all, I think all three of y'all together though.
all together. That'd be one thing.
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That'd be like a travel episode.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
That'll be something we probably have to invite some people. There's a lot of people that's gonna want to probably.
Yeah,
come to
man.
something
Like,
that.
Chaz is he's touring the country. Like, what's crazy about what he's doing
Yeah.
is like he did a video called Drug Addiction, and like he's been doing it for years. Like, he was on a Genesis magazine cover. You guys remember
Yeah, yeah.
Genesis? And
From Boom.
For Boom. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
and he was on a Genesis cover with
Yeah.
Mac back in the day.
Got you.
With Mac Miller back in the day. So that's like how long he's been doing it.
Crazy.
And like his like right when my video stuff started taking off, that video hit. And it's on like 10 million views right now. Like,
Sheesh.
and it's still climbing. And plus he has like such a base now because of that. And like now he's like traveling the country doing shows, but like
Man, your crew's still holding strong, bro.
Yeah.
You guys, all three of you guys, man. That's beautiful, man.
yeah.
That's beautiful, and it seems like you guys all have came back to that. You know, they say you forget your why, you forget your way. You know, and it
Right.
seems like even when you're talking about when you was getting started, you know, having recovery be the glue that kept it all together for you guys. You still hold strong to that, man. It seems like each and every one of y'all just out here still pulling,
Yeah.
man. Still pulling, man. Still climbing.
I love it.
Yeah, we just ironically we just all got together at and we don't get to see each other much anymore. Like, I see Chaz often, but like I don't get to see the rest of the crew, but we just all got together at Urban Air.
You gotta send us the picture. So we can put it up. You gotta put that up in the episode, man. You gotta send us the picture.
Jump
of
around that
song.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Jimbo was
How did
actually
y'all
on his
survive?
Jimbo was actually on his tippy toes in the picture. I don't know why, but
I feel like I wouldn't make it out of there, man. I don't trust my body like that no more,
dude.
man. It's just crazy.
I'm still reckless, man. I'll be trying to do backflips and front flips.
I be telling the kids, I'm telling you, I was doing it back in the day. Like, I'll be that pops out there, but I also will make like a YouTube video. Somebody's gonna put me on a reel or something. 'Cause I know I'm gonna get messed up, man. That hubris
Yeah.
I be living with.
Urban Air is like a trampoline park. If you don't know, but it's hilarious to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I have a couple tangents I want to go on real quick, and you're welcome to speak on them or whatnot.
Yeah.
But a couple of things that you've been talking about that kind of relate to me that I could try to kind of relate back, and maybe the people that might be listening is. So this year I'll be celebrating 10 years in business for PGH Print Ship.
Yeah.
In a few months, and then I had a business for 7 years prior to that in California, and when I moved, I spent 3 years between, and I definitely had a little bit of chip on my shoulder of like, it wasn't like I closed. We sold the business, so there was a success to the work that we did, and then where we left off, and it wasn't as bitter, but it was still like this chapter closed, and then I was, I doing so many different things and kind of not reinventing myself, but finding my place, finding my footing, being in across the country and in a whole different place, different vibe. Went to school, went delivering pizzas, working at other print shops, call centers, beer stores,
Awesome.
eventually, until I found, when my son was born, that was when I had to I was a stay-at-home parent, and so I had to find something that I could do, that I could be with him 100% of the time and do the thing, and it only needed to last up to the point where he could, go to kindergarten or pre-K or whatever, and then I could get a job. If I didn't make it work by then, I was just gonna get a job, and it worked. it worked better than what a job would have paid me. So I was like, well, I'll just keep doing this, and it's just gotten better and better. So, but I want to encourage people that are maybe going through that with the business, or with the, like, if they have a goal or a dream that they're working on, and it's just like, I mean, 17 years of working for myself, like, no one's calling me if I don't show up.
Yeah.
Like, but showing up day in, day out, even when you're not feeling it, when you're burnt out, when there's
when you got me hitting you up about a sign.
Hey man, you shared that work
He's
with
like,
me.
and Josh, and being the person I am, Josh will be like, can you email me, and I'll just text it to him.
That's how we do operate too. Man, I appreciate you being patient.
Yeah.
No, and just like you're saying before, you have, if you have people around you, you have work that needs to be done, you spread that to. You've spread that to me, so I appreciate it. That's definitely, there's a lot of people that come through where you're doing your work at the Pop District, and that we've all, definitely shared those same people, same connections, and there's a bunch that we haven't. So I'm looking forward to making those at some point. But
Yeah.
I just want to encourage people to keep showing up, keep doing the thing. I swear 80% is just showing up.
Yeah.
Show up, do a good job, and if you could show your character by putting your heart into it, even when you don't necessarily want to, that's the difference that so many people aren't doing, and that's where you start to set yourself apart. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out, encourage, and
yeah, it's like going. The best way, like, to think about it, it's like going to the gym, man.
Yeah,
It's real right.
You're not gonna get no results without repetitions.
Yep.
Whether it's a bad gym visit, or like you have bad business ventures.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
so
like
many things I've learned.
But if you give up, that's the worst thing you can do, because like then you start getting out of shape, and and then you're just not able to move like you should be able to move, and like you gotta stick with it.
Absolutely.
It's
day
really
in, day
bad.
out.
Yeah. Consistency breeds progress, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really does, man. And it's like you said, just showing up, just making it to the place, and a lot of times you get there, the work will happen, man. It'll happen. But like you said, just actually being there, being in that area where, like, and that's something that I have to remind myself, and not really remind myself. It's just something that I start now. I have to remind myself, but it's something I made part of my routine. It doesn't matter what's going on here. Maybe I don't even have much to do here, but and I could do it at home. But I just continue just to show up here, because something happens when I'm in this studio where it feels like, I don't know. It's just I don't know, man.
It's the showing up.
It's the showing up part, man. Like, even things that I'm struggling with, a lot of times I could just nibble away at it. I may not get nothing today, but if I keep chipping at it, chipping away, I'm going to catch some type of gems, and that thing's going to get done, man. It's just part of that process, bro.
Yeah, play with different things. Some things work, some things don't. It doesn't matter as long as you're continuing to do the thing. And
I always think of Shia LaBeouf.
Okay, exactly.
Just do it.
Yeah,
no, make your dreams come true. Right. I actually hear that in my head sometimes when I feel like.
But when you say 80% of the businesses fail within the first year, I think it's because they stop showing up.
Yeah.
If you just had that tenacity to continue and show up even when you don't want to, that I think 80% of the people that in a real life situation don't show up consistently for a year to make it to that year. You know what I mean?
Right.
So even you coming in, being here, even when you might not have something booked, or you're not doing it particularly just to be here, but exercising that muscle, making sure that you're here, you're consistent.
Right.
Someone can knock on that door. They know
which has happened.
Exactly.
Which is the craziest part. It's happened. Just me being in the area.
Right.
Talking with somebody walking up and down the street, because I'm out here. And it was like, wow. And it's like those moments just happen. You'll never know, man. But
Yeah.
showing up is more than half the battle. More than half the battle, man.
Yeah. And you can start small. I mean, like I started, I was still working part-time at this call center when my son was born, and I just told people I was booked those 2 days. I worked a double shift, and I was I would take stuff in with me in a little cutter, and I'd like cut stuff like between calls. And I was on Instagram way too much, just like hounding people, Yinzini printing, like just like using all that time.
I feel like that's when we met in the
Probably,
basement to
definitely.
work hard with Buzzy
You
from
spammed
Epicast.
this DM.
Yeah.
You spammed this
Right.
DM.
No. But like I feel like that was the
It was
time.
right around that time. So when I merged with Revival, they did screen printing and I did the copies. I think that was right around the time that we met, because I think I was doing it full time by then, and my Shark would have been about 2 years old. So, but it was close. I mean,
Yeah.
I stuck it out at the part time gig like as long as I could. I think maybe a year, 9 months to a year, something like that. And then it ended up being, something where I had to go full on with what I was doing. And even like during the pandemic, I was doing Uber Eats. Like there's no shame in doing, like doing your thing and being consistent at it. And then if it's not enough to fill up what you need, like go do something else that can be adjacent or in addition to, just to make it work.
They say pride is a foolish man or woman's burden, bro.
Exactly.
And I actually, it's more commendable the fact that you're willing to do more to make it work. That's what that says to me. It doesn't mean you're doing less. That to me means you're doing more.
Like I can work a 12-hour day at the print shop,
Yeah.
and then like your brain's just mush.
Yeah.
By the time I can't answer any more emails. I can't do any more production. But then like I go drive for another 5 hours.
Yeah.
Like that's not a problem.
It's
I can go do that. Like that's like if I have it in me, I'm gonna go do something.
I be feeling like that editing, man. Editing will kill you, bro.
Right.
Like
even just like editing.
I don't do video.
anything on like the computer, man.
Yeah.
Because like that I feel like that's more draining than what it was draining landscaping.
Yeah.
Because
I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, because
at least you're doing something physical.
Yeah.
Right.
Like with the sitting at or standing at the desk, whatever you do, like you're just in front of answering emails, cutting, fixing audio, doing graphics, and it's just like you're just like, ugh. By the end of the day, you're like, and then especially if you got deadlines.
Yo, that's a whole different pressure.
Yeah,
that's a whole.
But
different
you have
pressure.
deadlines in a different way, and you're like,
we do 75 orders a day.
You're answering emails and like that. Your brain is mush, dude.
And that's been happening with me, and I realized like it's to the point where it's almost like it's hard to even look at a computer, and that's when I realized it pushed me, having that type of trial and tribulation pushed me to say, oh, I need to build a team. I need to have one person that concentrates on audio, and that's the only thing they do. Because when you have when you got somebody that concentrates on maybe coloring or picking out the clips or the editing, like just one thing.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing everything, which majority of the time that's where everybody's stuck at.
Yeah, and that's to your credit. Like for me, I have this team where I have Larry, I have you, and then where like I book it, I show up, and we work together and do the co-host thing, and I'm there and I help push it out promote it once it's out, but everything in between after it's recorded, like I don't touch it until it's out. Like there's
Which
no
makes it more sustainable.
Right. Yeah. I could not do it.
Consistency.
Yeah.
I think simplicity makes consistency. Like it
Absolutely.
they really breed each other. It breeds consistency.
If it was all up to me,
Yeah.
we'd be on our second episode. Like
I get it.
if it would all be sitting somewhere, and I'd be like, I don't really know what to do with this. Like,
I get it though. Bro.
You know what I mean?
I get
Yeah.
it. I get it. A team
we
work.
have a
make the
bunch of
dream work.
tapes.
So how do you build your team? Since we're on that topic, like how do you approach a project now these days? You know.
Yeah. Well, now, so like I said, when I first started with the Pop District, I was on the Academy side.
Mhm.
But like I seen Chris doing all this stuff that like I had, where my passion laid, and for the first 6 months, it was we were able to get like 2 people on staff on the
Gotcha.
team.
Yeah.
And one of them was Kara Fries, who's like the most amazing like editor,
Nice.
person, like post-production supervisor like I ever met. Like,
Yeah.
and like just her resume is just like insane.
Nice.
And then we got another shooter. So like for years I was a one-man band.
Right.
You know, like I would do pre-production, production, then post-production, and I'd be doing and client management, and like just
That's where I'm at
Brain
now.
was mush.
oh man, and like now having like a team, like it just makes the focuses like you guys were talking about.
Yeah.
Like, we're more focused in our areas.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and it definitely alleviates, but like I didn't always have that, you know, like
Right.
sometimes there wasn't, especially starting off, like I didn't get big budgets because like I was underbidding myself.
That's a
Yeah.
whole conversation
Yeah, I know.
right there.
I don't even wanna
we
dive
really
into
wouldn't
that.
talk about that money side. Like,
Yeah.
like how is somebody going to pay all this?
Yeah,
Like,
but,
I'm supposed
like,
to be getting
Having
Yeah.
having capital to like be able to have a team
Yeah.
is like a game changer, because like not only does the product become better, but like your mental state gets greater, you know.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, that's how.
I think that it gives you more room to say no
yeah,
when it's not the right thing.
Yeah.
And it gives you that room to be able to quality control.
so
You
that
know what I mean?
what you just said
That's
there,
the heaviest thing.
being able to say no,
Yeah.
because
No, that
like
wasn't right. Let's reshoot it.
yeah, because like the I guess it was like a scarcity
Mhm.
mindset that I had early
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
that I couldn't say no because I
Right.
had to say yes to every gig
Right.
that came
That's
my way.
that's a real thing.
But even with the product,
Struggle
when you have a product coming out, if you have room in your budget to like have an extra day or
Yeah.
of shooting or editing or whatever it is, or buy the extra mic, or
Yeah.
whatever it is, that's like, I'm going to say no to, trying to be.
People outside the
Yeah.
production world don't really understand what goes into production.
Sure. I mean,
You know, and that-
you can
like
say
you
that
said,
about
having-
anything.
Like having that extra day
Yeah.
and having that extra like
Fine tuning.
Yeah, it's
That's
just
what you're
like-
paying for,
Or
is
having
that
like
extra.
an extra piece of equipment,
Right.
like that is a game changer.
100%.
And makes
And if you didn't build that into the room that you had
Yeah.
when you were first starting out, the quality that you did the first time, that's all you were doing.
yeah,
There was no saying no to it. That was just you're
yeah,
putting out what you can.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah, and
once
that's-
you have the room and you have the budget and you give yourself a little bit of space, you can not only can you just say no to certain projects if it doesn't feel like a right fit for you or you're too busy, but you can say, if you are on a project, you could say, no, I don't like how this is turning out. I'm gonna keep moving forward on this. Keep trying different things and do it till it's right.
yeah. And that was like one of the most beautiful things about Work Hard
Mm.
What was that?
is because like in that network of freelancers, like you shared about clients with each other, and like sometimes another freelancer would be like,
Yeah.
no, you're doing it wrong, dude. Like,
Or
and
they,
it was
they
like
give
you
an
learn from
opinion.
their
Yeah.
experience.
Right.
You know, it was just like this group of individuals like
Yeah.
building each other up and giving each other pointers, like, nah, don't record that way, record it this way, or don't. Yeah, you don't have to do that
Those-
for that.
Or they can
for
tell
that.
you
Those are slippery slopes that you will go down
Yeah.
until you find the right person to tell you don't. Because a lot of times we just keep like, all right, what has to be in there? You like
Yeah.
you get stuck, especially audio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Audio is each segment of production is a wormhole
Yeah.
that never ends, and I think that's with a lot of things, with majority of things.
Yeah.
But it I'm telling
You have to put a
man.
cap on it.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
put a cap on it, because if you don't, you'll just keep going down, and a lot of times you'll overdo something, which will completely
Yeah.
destroy it. It's a
You gotta know when to say no.
it's a beautiful struggle.
But-
like what you're saying, like knowing
Yeah.
when to say no. A lot of times, I think as a videographer, you're trying to get confirmation for yourself that you're actually up to par. But you're trying to understand your value. It's
Right.
weird, man. Because I'll say yes. I say yes to a lot of things at first to get the experience, and then I realize like I got the experience, but I keep saying yes to these things that I don't need to say yes to anymore.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, man. It's a wild journey.
I think that to that, like once you're booked to a point where you're like, yeah, I'd love to do that, but I'm not going to be able to get to that for 4 months. So like, or I could do it a little sooner, but it's going to be, twice as much. Like
Yeah.
that's where you can kind of, as you build out your schedule and as you build out what you're doing, that kind of thing, you almost can't let yourself keep getting caught up in those things, at least at that price, because you're just like, well, like I already have my schedule out. Once you continue to get booked,
Yeah.
and it'll push you to a spot where you're like, well,
I literally don't have the time.
correct.
Then you send in one of your people that could do it.
There you go. There you go.
That or if you want it for that rate, you're gonna have to do it when I'm slow,
Yeah.
or you know what I
Yeah.
mean, like.
Well,
So,
speaking of Warhol and so forth, man, how does somebody take the course? You know what I mean? That you guys offer. How do you get to the academy side and get to the other side of what's the other side called?
Yeah, so I'll say the best way is just to stay on top of our social media.
Yeah.
The Pop District and Warhol Academy on Instagram.
TikTok.
No, well, yeah. So there's no Pop District. There's a Warhol TikTok,
Okay.
but there's no Pop District or
Not yet.
not yet. But yeah, because we're still building out
Okay.
teams.
You were trying to swim in the
Yeah.
TikTok pond.
Yeah.
Where
No.
that's a commitment,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
That's
it is.
just
It
a
is.
thing.
Yeah, yep,
It works though.
yeah. But so we have link trees,
Okay.
and we also have a newsletter
Mhm.
that you can sign up in that link tree. And right now, our digital marketing diploma program, which is state licensed diploma program, is taking applications for our program coming
Right.
up. Applications end January 31st at 5 p.m. So if you're listening to this,
Yeah.
there's an opportunity to get a diploma and learn from some of the best in our region who are working professionals and teaching these classes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
So-
And so that would be like a trade school kind of like adjacent.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's no, don't quote me because I switched over
What?
to
Check
the creative side, but
out
I think
the
it's-
website.
I think it's 32 weeks,
Okay.
Yeah.
and it's Tuesdays, Thursdays on Zoom, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m., and then Saturdays in our classroom, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
And I took a class on SEO and SEM. Change life change.
Yeah, you did one of the
Life
workshops,
change,
yeah.
Maddie Madeline Love, thank you for that one.
Yeah.
Amazing teachers, everybody's qualified, and believe me, even if you're not, you're not going to leave there the same person you came. I know that for a fact, and you're
And the
definitely-
networking.
Yeah, networking.
Oh
is
yeah, you
crazy.
got so that's the
why I
thing.
got
That's
the
one of
big
the
flows.
that's one of yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it's like
wild.
there's 20 or 19 other students that are
Right.
doing creative based stuff or
Right.
business stuff, and
Yeah.
there's just like
Bounce off
opportunities
each other,
to
yeah.
like be like, oh, you're doing this.
Create that
you're
wolf pack kind
yeah,
of thing.
you're a photographer. I have this business. I need some product shots to sell my products,
Right.
and like you guys are working together,
Yeah.
building websites, optimizing those websites, setting up ad campaigns, doing email marketing, and like you guys are like in the
Hands
trenches
on.
together.
Hands on, man.
And it's
worth it.
intense, but like literally everybody that's gotten through the first two cohorts
Mhm.
have have nothing but.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
And then literally, like, I did the video interviews, and there's people saying that, like, what they learned 4 years of college in marketing, they learned way better in 32 weeks of this program.
Yeah, it's pretty much how I learned how to use a computer. It was so crazy. Before I took the class, I really had no idea how to use a computer these days. Like, I was using it in high school, so you don't have to really you want to go in with, you don't have to go in with knowing everything. Like, there's something for everybody.
Yeah,
especially, you know what I mean. Like,
there's like a level of tech literacy that, like, you should have.
Right.
But, like, as far as, like,
if you pick up on it quick, you can
right. You have the basics, you're fine. Because I had the basics. I was able to keep up with it, and this is some heavy stuff. But when you leave there, you'll get a better understanding.
Right. You got to challenge yourself.
Like Fam Ross, my friend, he was in the first cohort, and he grew his Instagram following like 3 times. So now he's like, he's like, oh wow, this is a game changer, you know, and like, so it's like, or like the Mariana is selling way more products than she did coming in. Like she sells matcha tea, and she's like selling way more products now, like because she learned the back end of it. It's good. It's like Maddie Love is a gun, dude.
Yeah, shooter.
She's another hard alum.
It's one of the smartest people I ever met in my life.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's.
Well, I just give like the reason. So I did. This is crazy too.
Yeah.
I'll tell like a moment, like, and this was last year. So like I did some headshots for Maddie, for Jim Gibbs, who runs Meter Feeder.
Okay.
The parking payment app.
Yeah.
And so like I did some like shots for him, right? So like, and then this is when I started shifting towards the Warhol creative.
Okay.
So at this time, I was on my way down to film for Spirit Airlines in Orlando, Florida, and I get a text from Maddie midair while I'm on my way down to Spirit, like film for Spirit, and my photos in Forbes magazine, and I was like I started like literally crying, because like I was just thinking about like where I come from,
right,
and I was like in Maddie, like that, just like that bond that we created like at Work Hard and working together closely, like she would do the ads and the website stuff and like all the marketing, and I would do like the video and photos, and just like I'm like up in this plane on my way to film for like Spirit Airlines. Wow, my photos, I'm looking at the website, is in Forbes magazine.
That's a long way from that stage, man.
Yeah, and
that's
just
a long way.
That's a long way
from the stage to Forbes magazine, bro.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
And then just recently, I did some photos too for Maddie, for one of our friends, Caesar's Designs in Shadyside, and he's that's where I got my engagement ring. Anyways, I'm going down a hole, but I seen an ad. She sent me a picture, and it's my photos I took of Lena Coleman. I don't know if you know Lena Coleman. She was doing comedy here in Pittsburgh, and now she lives in LA, and she's doing her thing out there. Anyways, I took some pictures of her, and those pictures are Caesar's Designs ad in Vanity Fair. Like full page.
See, man. And what did you call yourself on the iPhone? What was it?
Blink of an eye.
Blink of an eye.
Yeah.
That's your Instagram now.
Yeah. to Forbes to now Vanity Fair, bro.
Yeah.
That's what a heck of a.
But like that's who's teaching. Like those are the type of clients that she works with, and that's who's teaching our digital marketing program.
Absolutely.
You know, like so it's like, you know, it's like you're getting taught by someone who knows their shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like And not only that, there's Garrett Cooper, there's John Kramer, who's like straight like web dev like guru. Garrett Cooper's like the master of project management. Yeah, and then Scott McTaggart, who knows about like setting up marketing plans and like
this is crazy.
Yeah,
and this is all off it. This is free.
And this is free. Yeah, I didn't say that.
Free.
It's free, man.
That's
so like this
is
is like an opportunity like where past self like I honestly like I know a lot about marketing just from like self-taught stuff.
Right.
But past self, I would have been like all over this program.
Yeah. Right.
You know, and then we have the paid fellowships too. So there's
just drop that.
Yeah. So there's the filmmaking and post-production fellowship.
Yeah.
Where you learn from myself, Christian Lockerman, like literally probably like 100 years of experience in the industry.
Yeah.
And like we have a Netflix producer on our team now from the series or the Our Father documentary.
Okay.
And like he's part of our team, so he'll do like interview tactics. He'll teach how to do interview tactics. I would love that. I was actually teaching audio today. I was teaching how to set up a Ronin. You know, like I was
seriously.
Yeah, like so.
Man, yeah. So, let's do that.
Yeah,
let's do that.
And then the social media fellowship, which is Aaron Davis and Aaliyah Lewis, like they teach you how to do TikTok. Reels marketing.
I'm trying to think. I may have.
And you'll see them all over the Warhol